Hi, I wanted to do a short video based on my experiences. I've got a 16-foot sailboat and a 26-foot McGregor 26S. Um, each one sail, coastal cruising, inland sailing, but I want to talk about blocks. As you can see here, I've got a bunch of blocks, and here's a quick photo from Defender Marine showing the different kind of blocks. And what I use to measure these, you wind up getting a bunch of these, and you need a micrometer. You can get these at Harbor Freight for less than 30 bucks. This one does inches, metrics, and fractions. Here I'm measuring the inside diameter of the sheave, and then you'll measure some of the other measurements are just to see, if it'll fit where you want to use it. You'll want to measure the outside diameter of the sheave and or sheave, and then you'll also want to measure this post, because when you're talking to the people at either Defender or some of the other marine supplies, they're going to ask you these questions. The pin, and these happen to be, I believe from what I'm measuring, these are 38 millimeter. They're older classic Harken. And then once you identify exactly what it is, then it'll tell you the load strength and the size of the line that you can run on it. Typically these I run 8 millimeter, maybe 10 millimeter Samson XLS with no problem, but use them for just managing lines. Now going over to some other shackles. There's a variety of them. If you don't know what things are, you can talk to the people that you do business with, or you can put a posting on one of your group websites or group Facebook sites. Like, I didn't know what this was, and it's part of my main sheet to the boom, and I changed it out. I have a different type now. I have a free foot, so I don't need it anymore. But a lot of times, if you don't know, just ask. People are very helpful. And here I'm measuring for the inside. This block I had in my box, I didn't know what it was, so I'm measuring it just to show you some of the typical measurements that you take. And then these shackles, which I'm going to have some more information on, they come in a lot of different sizes and some swivel, some are fixed. And then I'm going to show you here a video real quick of the typical one. If you go on Defender Marine, they have a host of these, a lot of different sizes. And they're going to ask you, what do you need? What are you trying to do? And here's some of the dimensions that you need to know. Moving on to the next section, we're going to talk about some of the other shackles that you'll run across. And there are a myriad of these. I'll put links. I've got a picture coming up that'll have a link so you can go on and see the different kinds. I had this was part of my jib sheet, my jibs foresail, sorry. And I changed to roller furling, so I don't need it anymore. But you got to know all these dimensions because where you're going to use it. And here is the link so you can get more information. They just come in a bewildering variety. Swivels, non-swivels, and they're very, very handy for attaching your sails to your sheets, main sheet, jib sheet. And then moving on, here's the D-shackle. And again, a lot of times you won't know what these are when you may if you're new to sailing. So put a post with a photo and some dimensions on a Facebook group, and somebody will know. Or you can send it to one of your marine suppliers, and they'll let you know. The next photo, I'm going to show you some. You can go to this link at Defender and look at their D-shackles, and bewildering variety of these. And they're used in different places for different functions. As we move on to the next section, I'm going to show you some of the standing rigging. That's the wire. I replaced some standing rigging, but this is for T-bolt. And a lot of times the people like in the rigging stores, they will have a lot of information. Very, very helpful. This is something I got just from somebody who was getting rid of a boat. And these are for sale, and they're track. Now, tracks come in different sizes, and this piece here that I'm going to pull off, you're looking at probably 50, 60 bucks if you had to buy it new, and then the track. I'm going to be using this to make my jib sheet, because the jib sheet in general will have different locations on my boat. So I'm going to make use of this. Take the measurements. That way if you need any replacement parts or if you got to replace it, you can tell them what you're looking at. As you can see in my hand, that cam cleat is probably, there's no markings on it, but it's probably a Harken. And then you measure, if you're measuring, can I replace any of these parts, or is this all one unit? A lot of times when boats that are from the 80s and 90s, these parts aren't made anymore, so you can take a picture and put it on eBay, or you can put it on a Facebook group and say I'm looking for one of these. And believe it or not, somebody might have it in a barn, in a garage, in storage, and you can get your boat back up and going. But you're going to need all these measurements. In the next section, I'm going to show some. I don't know what it is with these boats that are made in the 80s and 90s, but you'll find pieces. They just don't make them anymore. This was on a Precision 18, it's a 1982 boat, and I looked high and low. I can't find any data on it. The guy was using this as part of a connection to his main sheet, to his, I think he was using it on the halyard, sorry. And there was a shackle, and then this. It's just, you'll run across stuff like this, and I just set it aside, try to find some data. If I can't find anything, I may put it on Facebook group and say, where do you use this, and is it still useful, or does it just go, in the trash? And these pins, you'll see a bewildering amount of these pins. So if you're going to ask anyone for hardware, take your measurements, and that way you can email them or contact them for what you need. I'm going to talk about what we love to hate, and that's ring dings or cotter rings. And I know everyone hates them, but if you get these kind that are have this bigger opening, they're a little easier to use. A lot of times I carry a small screwdriver with me and needle nose, but if I'm on the boat and the boat's moving around, you're going to flip one of these into the water. A lot of times you can leave some of your standing rigging connected and just tape these so they don't snag. But, it's dealer's choice. What do you like? If you got any comments or anything, just reach out to me and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks.